Residents are still cleaning up after powerful winds pushed through western Massachusetts this week. 22 News reporter Haley Crumblehome tells us where some people were still without power today.
We are days out from those strong winds, and yet there are still fairly large trees like this one laying across streets throughout Springfield. And luckily, this one at the corner of El Paso and Oklahoma, though it is spreading out until much of the middle of the street, cars are able to get by. But we spoke with a woman on another Springfield street today who said she was left with a tree on top of her house for days. By Friday morning, residents on Ionia Street in Springfield said things had been at a standstill since the storm. The massive tree still blocking the road and the sidewalk still strewn with wires knocked down by the wind.
My mom was in her room, her window busted full out, glass all on the bed. I felt the house shake and heard a big boom.
Kind of like an explosion. Because I think that transmitter thing blew up, everything cut off.
And when they stepped outside, they saw the wind had ripped a tree up from its roots, falling on a car and Barbara Scott's second floor.
This car was crushed. Part of the branch was in our front porch. Part of the branch was in my mother's bedroom.
When I stepped outside, the wires were everywhere. And all I could see from over there was a tree knocked over.
But by Friday morning, the tree was still there.
It was on my house, and we waited that long. So we have no electricity, nothing. We've been living with candles. My mother's 85 years old. We've been forth for a while. And my daughter actually called the mayor this morning.
Homeowners on the street called 22 News and said Ionia Street, a side street with no outlet off of State Street, had a tree still blocking the road. We called the Parks Department, which oversees the city's forestry service. They said they were aware of the problem, but with numerous downed trees to take care of, couldn't say when it would be removed. But by early Friday evening, it was finally gone. But residents still had no power, and people were still walking over the downed wires left behind.
Very frustrating because we can't do daily stuff in the house that we need to get done. We had to work around it.
And while people are able to remove branches and things like that themselves, something like this is obviously going to take some heavy equipment. And the Parks Department said that the Forestry Department is doing everything they can to clear out as many trees as they can quickly. But again, there were a lot taken down in that storm. Live in Springfield, Haley Crumblehome, 22 News.